Sunday morning, Dick was brought up to the camp hospital where he met Danny Morrison. He came back to the wing and went back into his cell and sent me up a com telling me that there was a person codenamed the Mountain Climber, and that he had made certain proposals, right, aimed at ending the hunger strike. The proposals being that of our own clothes, the segregation, work would be orientated towards education. The one sticking point was free association. The Brits were not going to give us free association. And I got Dick up and I says, Dick, tag a lower on, there's enough there. And his response was, ain't them lad, I agree with you. Screevy may hunt even we, is curry may fiss or who. I'll write the outside and I'll let them know. And that was the way it was.
The fact that there was an offer from the British government has never been in question. What is in question is who rejected it. The prisoners in the maze, or the Republican leadership on the outside.
The calm wasn't a hard and fast order in that sense. Do not accept this offer. It was, we are surprised to see that you have accepted this offer, which meant that we don't accept it, or we do not think you should accept it. And that was the lane. Here's the lane, guys. This isn't good enough.
Firstly, a conversation in Irish out a cell window in H Block 3 with 40 other prisoners in the wing, the most of them, some of them with far better Irish than I have, would not have allowed secrecy, for starters. Somebody, but my cellmate would have heard, his cellmates, the adjoining cells, the ones across the way, the ones behind, everybody would have heard the conversation. And there's nowhere in the history of that, of anybody, either at the time, in the direct aftermath, or in the aftermath of his book coming out, has even uttered a whisper in relation to that conversation having taken place.
What I can confirm is that the allegations made by O'Raw, that he advised Brent McFarlane to accept the deal, and that Brent McFarlane's response was that he thought there was enough there. I have had that confirmed by a prisoner on the wing, independent verification that O'Raw's account is correct.
Then he says that that I had received a communication from the army leadership directing me not, or directing us as hunger strikers as well, not to accept any deal. It's preposterous.
If there was this sensational offer, that the Republican leadership on the outside had maliciously or otherwise influenced the hunger strikers against, and this was such a revelation, one would have thought that in the past 25 years someone from the Northern Ireland office would have used that against Sinn Féin, against Gerry Adams. Indeed, it was never heard of until last year.
Whatever the truth of what happened that weekend in July 1981, the hunger strike was to become a defining episode in the history of the Troubles. An episode that lasted 217 days, during which 10 men died inside the Maze prison, and 68 people were killed through violence on the outside. And an episode that divides opinions and communities to this day.
I have serious reservations about the revision and rewriting and repackaging of all of it as part of the glorious struggle, because those of us who lived through it would counsel against ever doing it again.
The people I admire is the parents, Mrs. Lynch, Mrs. Quinn. They're the ones I admire, those people. I wonder what they think now do they think it was a waste of life? I'd say there is an increasing opinion that it was a waste of life.
For Republicans, and I'm still an activist, I think for Republicans, they've set a huge example to us. You know, in terms of self-sacrifice, generosity.
Isn't it tragic that Sinn Féin's rise comes from 10 men dead? But undoubtedly it did.
I do believe that when you look at your television now and see Gerry Adams running around Washington, it's useful to remind yourself that it was the hunger strike that did this. But Bobby Sands organised those parties in the White House on St. Patrick's Day, which Irish Republican leaders can literally rub shoulders with the great and the good of the Western world. Boy, do they owe Bobby Sands big time.